Guys, so this video is about some of my crazy stories from my past. Today is all about how I used to be an Adopt Me kid. Yep, it's true. I was an Adopt Me kid when I was like 7 until 10. Like, I was obsessed with that game. Like, I'm sure we all went through that phase. But I've got about 4 stories lined up for today. I might do a part 2 on these stories if like enough people ask for some, because I have loads of crazy experiences from that game. So let's jump right into the first story. So I was like a try-hard Adopt Me kid. Like, I swear I spent hours a day on that game. Like, I would rush right home after school and just get onto Adopt Me with my siblings. And oh my god, I would call my friends for non-stop, and we'd just be trading and trading and trading. Like, so I made this online friend. Her name, I can't really remember, but I'll just use Ruby because it's like the name on my mind at the moment. But this girl, she was like a fake friend. She was nice sometimes, but then she wasn't. I can't exactly remember how I met her, but my most memorable experience is how we became ex-friends. So I was just playing in this random game with my uncommon pet, because like I had an obsession with the lower ranked pets. Like, I was just obsessed with them. Like, I did not understand values at all. I didn't even know what legendaries were. Like, I was a very dumb 7-year-old. But I met this girl, not Ruby, but Ruby was in the game with me, chatting to me, and she was like, oh, cool pet, can I please trade for it? Because it was like an older one. I think it was like, I can't remember, it might have been like a cow. And she was like, can I please trade for it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was about to go through, like, I was about to send the text, like saying, yeah, sure, in the game. And then Ruby, she just comes right in front of me and says, girl, you ain't getting that pet. Like, I am not letting her trade it to you. And I was like, Ruby, I want to go through with this trade. And then she was like, she doesn't want your trash pet anyway. And then the two girls started to get in a massive argument. Bear in mind that Ruby, she could be a little bit much. Like, she was saying some really horrible things to that girl. And then I felt so sorry for her that I sent the girl a trade request and put on my cow. She actually had a pretty good offer. Like, I was surprised. I think it was like quite an older pet from like the Aussie egg or something, like the Australian kangaroo egg, and I was really interested in going through with it. But then Ruby tried to trade me and noticed I was in the trade, and she was like, oh my god, what's she trying to scam you with now? And I was like, nothing, she's just trading me this pet. Well, I can't really remember what pet it was. And then she was like, oh my god, no, don't go through with the trade, it's such a scam. And then I was like, yes, I'm going through with the trade, because then that was when I found out about values, because I looked it up, like, is this a good trade for a cow? And it was like, it's so like over, like they're so over, so it's actually a pretty good trade. Like, I sucked at like scam trades though. Like, I didn't even get my trading license. My friend had to complete it for me, because like I was terrible at scams. Like, I was the most dumbest 7-year-old you could ever imagine. But like, Ruby then puts in the chat, oh my god, how dare you give away that cow that I worked so hard to get for you, and I gave it to you as a present on your birthday. And I was like, bro, I worked hard for this pet, I literally hatched it. And then she was like, no. Obviously I didn't backlash in the chat because it just got hashtagged. And then the girl declines the trade and says, you know what, I'm actually on your friend's side now. You should not give away the pets that they worked so hard to get you. And I had video evidence that I actually hatched this pet. Like, Ruby was being so horrible. And then I said, Ruby, why would you do that? That was such a great opportunity. And she was like, you know what, I always work with you, I give you money to buy these pets, like, I should deserve some credit. Like, you should not be the one getting all of these amazing offers for them. And I was like, Ruby, that's so selfish of you, why would you do that? Like, I'm your friend. And she was like, used to be my friend, like, I thought that you were nice and that you would give me pets. And I was like, oh, so that's what you're just using me for, pets? And she was like, yeah, you always get these like super not cool pets in trades, but then sometimes you're really dumb and give them away for good items. And then I get it because you don't know it's good, and then I just take it from you. And I was like, oh my god, Ruby, that's horrible. She was just using me the whole time, I found out then. And then I was like, yeah, no, we're not friends anymore. I left the game, unfriended her, and I've never joined her or like seen her in a game. Even if I have, I do not recognize her username, so like I do not know if it's her or not. But if it is her, I hope she understands how wrong she is. And if she's seeing this video, Jesus Christ, Ruby, think about what you said. I know your name's not Ruby. Like, I know her name's not Ruby. But anyway, here's my next story. So this next story is about how I kind of fell for someone's scam and lost an actually really good pet. So I was just randomly playing in a game one day, just vibing with everyone, you know, like you normally do on Adopt Me. And then this girl who's dressed up as like my favorite Adopt Me YouTuber, and she changed her username, everything. I did not know you could do that. I did not know the dressing room even existed. Like I was that dumb. So she pretended to be this YouTuber that I follow, and she was like, oh, that's a really good legendary. I actually don't have that. And I did watch her channel. She didn't actually have it. Like, she was playing it very well somehow. And then she said, oh, can you give it to me so I can put it on a showcase and then give you a shout out and then give it back to you? And I was like, I was totally not sussed at all. I was like, oh, I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be on everything. And I was like, I was so happy. So I just gave her the pet. And then she changed her username and everything and said, haha, get scammed. Wow. I had fallen for the scam before where this girl pretended to be someone else, but not a YouTuber, like not a famous YouTuber. I was actually appalled when I saw her. I was like, that's my pet, please give it back. And then she just said, you gave it to me. And then I said, no, please give it back. And then this girl just like, she was dressed up in like a really weird outfit as well, like her actual avatar. And then she started running around with this pet and she was like, guys, this person's trying to scam me and get this pet, claiming it's theirs and that I scammed them. And Jesus Christ, everybody believed her. Like, there was nobody backing me up. And I'm pretty sure that Ruby girl from the last story was, like, there as well. And she did not believe me when I told her. Like, you know, on Adopt Me, it, like, shows you on your trading license, like, what trades you've gone through and things like that. Like, I would have shown her if I could. Like, if there was, like, picture messaging or something, I would have shown her. And, yeah, I would have done some, very strange things. But not to mention that. And this girl, honestly, she would not get enough of it. When I told her, I'm gonna report you, and she was like, for what? For like telling the truth about you scamming me? And I was like, Jesus, I didn't even scam you. Can you like stop claiming that I did? And then the whole server literally ganged up and said, yeah, stop scamming her. Like, it's her pet. She worked hard for it. I worked hard for it. I spent like 1,000 Robux on it. Please give it back. Like, I thought you were a famous YouTuber. Of course, I did not understand anything. I did not even know that scamming was like a thing on Adopt Me until I found out that scamming's a thing everywhere. So, yeah, I kind of lost probably the best pet I've ever had on Adopt Me to, a scammer. So, like, note of the story, do not believe people, like, when they say they're these things, like, you have to go through some very big checks, like check their account, like I didn't even think of it. Check like the YouTube channel or something, like check it, like if they're on a live stream saying that they'll do it, because otherwise, if they're recording, no. So yeah, that's kind of how I lost my pet. The next story is like kind of how I lost my chat settings for about 2 years and I was not able to talk to anyone, including Ruby. Like, it was actual torture. Like, imagine not being able to chat on Roblox for about 2 years. Like, all I could do was just jump around to communicate to people. It was so bad, and it was all to do with the Adopt Me. Like, that's one of the reasons that I almost stopped playing the game. I did stop playing the game later on, but like, I was thinking about it back then because I was just obsessed with it. So basically, I was just in a server with Ruby. Again, Ruby is in like every single one of these stories, and so is this other girl who I will mention. So I was in the server trading with this other girl that I just talked about. I'll call her Cassie. We all became friends, like me, Ruby, and Cassie. We were like the dream trio. At the time, I had no clue like Ruby was scamming me. I only found out like like 3 months later after that. But we were all like really good friends. Like we were all super nice to each other. Like Cassie was much nicer than Ruby, though. I noticed like Cassie had like less of a temper. She was less overprotective. She just minded her own business. I minded my own business. We like had nice friendly chats, and then we just left each other alone. However, Ruby, she was always pushing me, urging me to tell her about things. Like, I told her, like, oh, sorry, I can't play right now. I've got a dentist appointment. Oh my God, what's going on? What do you need to get done by the dentist? Is your tooth rotting? Oh my God. And I was like, Jesus Christ, Ruby, like, you don't need to take it that far. And then basically I was just trading with this other girl. We were just like giving each other pets because like I had her dream pet, like sort of dream pet, I guess. And she had my sort of dream pet. So we decided, you know what? Let's just give it to each other. And then Ruby, put out a party invite to like somebody's house, like not her house. I don't even know how she did it. Like she wrote on the description, meet at this person's house. And then I asked her about it, and she was like, oh, this guy just, like, private messaged me. He's on my friends list, and said that he, can't, like, apparently this was one of her, like, actual, like, school friends. Like, she claimed to be a school child. And, she said, this person's, like, one of my friends, and they don't have chat settings, and, they asked me to put out this party invite for them. And then, at the time, I thought, like, okay, that's reasonable. And then it said on the description, $50 for a Mega Neon pet. I was like, oh, a Mega Neon, oh my God, I don't have one of those. And $50 is kind of cheap. At the time, I only had, like, $100, so I was like, oh, I can buy 2 Mega Neon pets. I was, like, so overjoyed. So I went with Cassie, and we were, like, so excited, because, like, I think Cassie was as vulnerable as me. But then after that, at one point, she said, girl, are you sure this is real? And I was like, yeah, it's real. It's one of Ruby's friends. It's fine. Like, I totally trusted Ruby. I was the most gullible person ever. So I gave this dude the $50. And then he just left because the house despawned. And I was like, oh, I wanted my Mega Neon pet. And then Cassie was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I should have known that it was a scam and told you sooner. But then Ruby was like, he would never do that. I'm sure he just disconnected or something. And then we were like, Ruby, are you sure? And then she was like, yeah, I'm sure. This guy's like super nice. Like, he would never do anything like that to me. And then I was just like, yeah, okay. And I do this thing where I, like, talk to myself sometimes. And I was like, I just said to myself, right, I've just lost $50. And, well, one of my parents overheard and said, what? Did they scam you? And I was like, yeah, kind of. I did not know that they would eventually take away my chat settings for 2 years. Like, they took away my brother's as well. Like, he had no involvement in this. He wasn't even in the game, and they just took it away because they did not want us to get scammed. But yeah, it was kind of hell because they took it away. But I understand, like, they didn't want us to get scammed. So, like, either way, I suppose both sides of the story is pretty fair. On to the next story. My last story is how I fell for Cassie's trap. You were probably wondering, how could Cassie be such a horrible person? Like, she's not horrible. From my descriptions, she's not. That's exactly what I thought. Until one day I found out Cassie's true dark side. So I was just playing randomly once when I joined Ruby and Cassie in a game. So Cassie and Ruby were having a very big argument, like very big. Apparently, Cassie tried to scam Ruby out of one of her pets, and Ruby gave it to her. I said, Ruby is not that gullible, she wouldn't do these things, but then Cassie admitted to it, and I was like, Cassie, how could you do that? And then she said, well, she's always super rude to you, so I wanted to get back. And I was like, okay, I get that. She's not rude to me. She's just a bit different from you. You both treat me differently. And then Ruby got a little bit hurt by this because Cassie didn't do it in private chat, but I did. So she saw all the messages and she was like, and then she just walked away. And then I went over, private chatted her and said, hey, you're right. And she was like, what horrible things were you saying about me now? At the time, Ruby wasn't actually horrible. She was actually kind of nice. And she said, I know you've always hated me, and I know I've always been a bit much, but like, I still want to be your friend. Cassie's always private chatting me and being horrible to me. So I asked Cassie about it. She actually admitted to it. I don't know why, like, people like that would normally not admit to it. Like, you know, people don't admit to these things. But I asked her about it, and she said, yeah, actually I did. And I said, Cassie, how could you do that, like, with best friends? And turns out it was the same reason as Ruby. She was going to try scam us, and she was using us for YouTube clout. I never found her YouTube channel or anything, but apparently one of her videos was labelled as "These two dumb people believed my scam." And when I lost my chat settings, she literally made a video pretending to be a scammer and on my alt account and seeing what people do. And I'm like, oh my god, she was the person who got me removed. Like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you, Cassie? And I was just like, why are you like this? I thought I'd actually met someone who was actually trustable online. Like, you know, some people online are not bad, but like, there's some people online who are not good. So I asked Cassie, why do you have to be one of those not good people? And then she said, well, obviously, what's the point in being nice? It's just boring. So we unfriended her. We never joined her again. Since then, me and Ruby were alright until our massive falling out that you heard of at the start of the video. Anyway, guys, that's the end of my storytime video today. I really hope you enjoyed that. Next storytime, you should recommend. I'm going to put out 3 options in the comments what my storytime will be, and you guys can choose, like, whichever one gets the most likes would be my next storytime. So anyway, hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.